Hey there, YouTube land. This is Michel Baruch coming at you with a new review. All last week I was smoking the McBaron HH Vintage Syrian. And on the suggestion of imawrench, I ordered myself some of the Hearth and Home Concerto blend. And I wanted to compare and contrast them a little bit. I really like the Vintage Syrian as you caught from my previous two videos. But, you know, they're both Balkans with a lot of Latakia in them. Very different, well, not very different animals. Actually, they have a lot in common, and then a lot of things where they're not in common. So the Vintage Syrian is supposed to be around 50% Latakia. That's a lot. It's a very smoky, very intense tobacco. Very powerful, but it's only got 2 or 3 notes going on. So I found it really satisfying. I mentioned that I loved the mouth coat feeling that it gave me. It had a good smokiness, kind of a certain type of sweetness, not like a cloying, sugary sweetness, but a very, I don't know, wonderful, very rich. Actually, it was probably the number one adjective I'd give it. Very rich. You know, 2 or 3 things going on, but they're 2 or 3 awesome things. Now, the Concerto, I would say, has a lot more going on to it. The Syrian is Kentucky, Latakia, Turkish, and Virginia. And the Concerto here is Burley, Virginia, Turkish, Black Cavendish, and Cyprian Latakia. So there's a couple components there different, and they provide a lot of different effect. First, I would say that the Concerto is a lot more complex than the Syrian. The Syrian, you know, has, like I said, 2 or 3 things going on. There's enough things going on in this that I'm not entirely sure like what I'm detecting. So there's the mouth coat that I like, but I would say it's like a third of the feeling, the sensation that the Vintage Syrian gives in the pleasant coating of the mouth. The Black Cavendish gives it a sweetness, and there is a very noticeable Latakia flavor to it, but it's like half the intensity of the Vintage Syrian. But there's just so much going on here. Now, the first time I loaded up a pipe with the Concerto, I did myself a little bit of a disservice. I was drinking coffee, but it was coffee that I'd put an anise star in earlier in the day, and I was having a really hard time trying to figure out what the tobacco tasted like, and because I was really fighting that anise. Now, of course, it's a daytime video, so of course I'm drinking coffee. And normally I just drink a dark roast coffee with nothing else going on there, like a single sweetener. So I was like, you know, that wasn't a really good first try of the Concerto, but I liked it nonetheless. But I wanted to have a second go at it here. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, those of you with considerably more discerning palates than mine, the Concerto seems to me to have what I'm starting to associate as the taste of Virginia's, that cut grass kind of hay taste and also an earthy sweetness. I would say that the Syrian to me has an almost like peaty quality to it. Not too heavy, like a sweeter Scotch, like an Oban or a Macallan. You know, the Scotches that are smoky, but they're aged in those port or sherry casks, which gives them a sweetness as well. Whereas the Concerto, there's like 5 or 6 tastes going on there, and everything is much more toned down. But you taste each thing at different points. And it's actually been kind of fun trying to figure out what those flavors are. I don't taste that kind of plum, fig, dried fruit quality that I taste a little more in the heavy Latakia of the Vintage Syrian. But so, like the Vintage Syrian, I'm gonna spend a week with this one, or really try to get my head around it. But that's where I'm at. So, thank you, Stephen, for suggesting the Concerto by Hearth and Home. I got it from tobaccopipes.com for $9 and change. It's an exciting blend. I'm really enjoying the Balkans. So this couple reviews is gonna be very Balkan heavy. You know, the Syrian followed by the Concerto here, and then coming up after this, I've got on deck the Super Balkan by Cornell and Deal. So that of course smells out of the tin. Really exciting. So hope to bring that to you, and maybe at the end of the week. And then after that, I've got the Scudo Navy Deluxe going a totally different direction. Everybody says that as a vapor, that's an even better quintessential vapor than the Orlik Golden Slice. We'll see. It's going to be a fun couple weeks. Anyway, hope you guys are well. Stay smoky. Have a great week. Happy Monday. And Zygozunt. Be well.